Get wicked fast Wi-Fi today on Call for Help.
I hope these people can help me with my computer. A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You can upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config board should be set to ID6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte at Call for Help. May I help you?
Wicked fast Wi-Fi. Robin Liss is here. She's from Boston. We'll get her to say that right. Hey, welcome to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte. Good to see ya. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have a great show for you today. Oh, man, are we going to have a good one. This is the show where we take technology, we make it easy to understand, we make it accessible, we make you, without your knowledge, a technology wizard. Yes, you'll walk away from this show 23.7% smarter than you were just a little while ago. How about that? Science and the 4 out of 5 doctors recommend. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. The people are going to do all that. Amber MacArthur on my left.
Hey, Leo.
On camera right in a very bright shirt.
Yeah.
Whoo, the sun came out. Andy
yum,
Walker.
yellow.
Very
Yum,
nice.
yum, yum, yum,
Yum,
Walker.
yum, yellow.
Now, all right, now who's going to confess up to this Flashdance album?
That's me.
Is this yours from when you were 12?
Yeah, I had that album and The Princess Bride as well.
Oh, yeah. Now, see, that I can dig.
Yeah.
This was a good movie.
That's my favorite movie of all time.
Isn't that a wonderful movie?
It's a wonderful movie, yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right. So, and I didn't know that we had an album. So, is there like? It's Willie DeVille, Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits.
Yep.
So, is there a reason why we have these album covers?
Yes, there is. I'm going to show you this site called Thrift Deluxe, which shows you how to do really cheap crafts at home. So if you ran out of money after Christmas shopping, you'll know what to do if you have any gifts to give in January and February.
I'm still clueless
I know,
about why the albums are
I
here.
know, it's kind of a tease. We're going to do some record
We'll do something
art,
with
let's
this.
say.
All right, good. Now, Amber said wicked fast Wi-Fi. Is that something you're responsible for, young man?
I'm so excited.
You're such a geek. What do you mean wicked fast Wi-Fi?
802.11, well, we know Wi-Fi's come in 3 different formulations thus far. 802.11, A, B, and G.
A, B, and G.
Well, on the horizon is N, which is like super fast 100 megabit per second throughbut type.
But that hasn't been
Wi-Fi.
approved yet.
Hasn't been approved yet, but there's a company who's being kind of bad and releasing a kind of a clone of it and calling it pre-N, pre-802.11N.
But it has the features of N?
But well, sort of, kind of, yeah.
We're going to try it out.
We're going to try it out, and we're going to talk about why it's so controversial.
And is this the one that's going to involve Mikey running upstairs? All right. So there's another tease. Find out why these albums are important and watch Mikey run upstairs later. And then I said Robin Liss is here, and she's of course my camera guru, my digital camera and camcorder guru. Every year at CES, Robin takes me around and says, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad at the Consumer Electronics Show. She's here today to tell us how to buy a camcorder, of course, from the great site camcorderinfo.com. So that'll be a lot of fun.
I'll need her
and
help.
she's from Boston, so she can tell you how to say wicked fast.
Wicked fast.
Wicked fast. But first, let's wicked fast get our first caller.
All right, we have Dave from Burlington, Ontario on the line.
All right. Hey, David, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Say hello to my good friend, Mr. Basil Coward, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Basil. It's good to see you. Hello. Yes. So, David, what can I do for you?
Hi, I just wanted to welcome you to Toronto, first of all.
Thank you. You know, I love this town. What a fun place to be.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, a lot of I know because a lot of movies come up here to produce, a lot of TV shows come up here to produce, and they pretend they come up here because it's inexpensive. I know why they come up here. This is a great place, so much fun. I love this town.
Yeah,
so
and I lived in Sacramento for a year, and in comparison, I prefer Toronto.
Yeah, I think the comparison isn't really fair.
No.
Sacramento, California is not exactly the hot spot of the state.
No.
Yeah, it is the capital, however.
Close to San Francisco, and I liked San Francisco a little better than Sacramento.
You should really compare Sacramento to something like Ottawa.
Yeah, and I lived in Ottawa for 4 years.
Yeah. So. You've lived all over.
Yeah.
What can I do for you today?
I was wondering, I got an email from Svetlana. From Friendster.com. And she fell in love with me very quickly.
Yeah, baby. And Svetlana wants to move here.
That's right. Yeah. And not too long after I emailed her back a few times, she wanted some money and stuff like that to come and visit me. So
I'm sorry, Dave. That's
bit.
terrible. That's so sad. I feel bad for you. All right.
Well, it's kind of funny. I played along with it for a bit because I knew it was probably some guy in the States probably emailing you, right?
So so she didn't break your heart. You knew what was going on.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But what I was wondering, I gave her an email address that didn't have my name in it or anything like that, but it was through my ISP. And I'm wondering if she can get, or he, maybe, can get any information about my real identity.
Oh, that's a good question.
From sending an email from my ISP.
Right. Well, all he or she knows is who your internet service provider is.
Okay.
Now, if they can go to the internet service provider and say, who is human number 123 at this ISP.com, if they can get that information out of the ISP in some nefarious way, then of course they can get, your ISP knows who you are, where you live. They might have a credit card number. They probably have more information about you.
Right.
Now, most ISPs recognize this. Most internet service providers recognize this and are very careful to protect their customers' privacy.
Oh, okay.
And I can give you a great example. The record companies in the United States, as you well know, are very unhappy about companies like Napster and Kazaa that allow people to share music.
Yeah.
And they went, when they get on Kazaa, all they see is an internet address.
Right.
Roughly the equivalent of your email address. Mm-hmm. They cannot deduce who's doing it from that address. However, what they've been trying to do is get the internet service providers to give them the information.
Oh, okay.
And most ISPs have said, heck no, get yourself a subpoena.
Right.
And in most cases, that subpoena in the States has failed.
Oh, okay.
So you're pretty well protected. But now you have to, I would call your ISP and say, what kind of privacy protection? Is it a big company or is it a little company? Or?
Yeah, it's a big one. It's well-known, and it's a good one. I like it.
All right.
So.
I think chances are very good that you're safe.
Okay.
But, it might not be a bad idea to put a little fraud alert kind of a thing a little bug in the ear of the internet service provider. Credit companies do this for credit card issuers. You can call them up and say, my information is somehow leaked out. Put a fraud alert on my account, so if there's any suspicious activity, you contact me before you issue a credit card, for instance.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if an ISP will do that, but it wouldn't hurt to try. Because I could see Svetlana, a.k.a. Herman, calling up the ISP and saying, I'm his long-lost, long-suffering mother, and he's left me, and I've got to find him again, and I don't know where he is. I just know this one piece of information. And, maybe kind of what they call the social engineering their way into it.
Right.
Because that ISP could connect it.
The old Kevin Mitnick trick.
You're right. In fact, if you want to read how to do it, Kevin's got a great book called The Art of Deception that's exactly what it describes.
Yeah.
And you're right. The reason I know this is because he's taught me all about it, and they're very clever.
Yeah.
So it depends on how clever Svetlana is. But I have a feeling you're probably all right.
Okay.
Nothing that she can go onto the internet and find.
Right. Yeah.
And if it's a national ISP, she doesn't even know where you live.
No, it's fairly local.
Okay.
But,
well, that will narrow you down. I can, a lot of times I can look at an internet service provider's address or an IP address, and I can say, well, I know where that person lives.
Right.
But that's all. Just I'll know he lives in Toronto, or he lives in Ontario, or he lives in the Northeast or whatever. But that's all they can do.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Good luck.
Hey, I just want to say hi to Andy and Amber.
All right.
And
hey, Dave.
They're doing a great job since everybody left Tech TV down in the south there. You guys got a great show going.
Well, I'm so glad you're watching the show. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. And my kids want to say hi to you, Leo.
Oh, well, go ahead. Where are they?
Actually, they're not here with me right now, but they wanted to make sure that I told you that they said hi.
Tell them as I said hi back.
Okay.
Thanks, you, Dave.
Thanks,
Take
Leo.
care. Oh, and just one other word of warning. Andy sometimes uses the name Svetlana when he's on chat rooms.
Yes, I do.
So just word of warning. Looking for the best way to capture those crazy family moments? Maybe you're in the market for a new camcorder. We get some expert tips from my personal camcorder guru, Robin Liss, right after the break. Stay right here.
Still don't get the picture, do you, Counselor?
It may seem odd that while camcorder technology now makes it easier than ever to shoot high-quality pictures and sound, the decision about which camcorder to buy can be complicated. If you're considering buying one for the first time, you might find yourself in a land of confusion. We have Robin Liss here to help you make the decision.
Happy to be here, Amber.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So I'm actually, I don't have a camcorder, and I have lots of questions because I would love to buy one.
It's an expensive purchase, so we really try to, ask. You got to ask the right questions. You got to be informed because some of these stores they might try to scam you. So go in there with the right knowledge and research your decision online.
Okay, so what are some of the basic things that someone should know know about buying a camcorder?
Well, the first thing is a camcorder is about shooting video.
Okay.
I mean, you know, that's what it's about. They'll put all these funny little gizmo, gadgety kind of things on there, but it's about shooting good video. It's about capturing memories. And what that is about is the size of what we call the CCD. That's the thing. I know, it's a little crazier, but that's the thing that takes the image in from the lens and turns it into an electronic signal to save it onto tape, which you can, you know, play back at home.
Okay. So then it's not about actually shooting digital pictures.
No, that's one of the things that we try to really emphasize, is that recently a lot of the camcorder manufacturers have tried to put a lot of still functionality into the camcorders so you can take video and stills. The problem is the stills are poor quality. We recommend getting a separate still camera and go to our sister site, digitalcamerainfo.com, to read reviews of still cameras. You'll also actually save money in the end by buying a digital camera for $200-300 and a camcorder for, you know, $700-800 instead of a hybrid model which might cost $1,500 or even $2,000.
So you shouldn't be swayed by all those, you know, messages that say you can take still pictures. You should just avoid that and just focus right on the digital camera.
Concentrate on the video performance and the low light performance. One of the things people don't realize is when camcorders really start to perform poorly, and when the good gets separated from the bad is when you go inside and when it's not a well-lit environment. I mean, we're in a studio here with tons of bright lights. Most of the video you're shooting is actually not going to be, it's going to be kind of dark.
Be a little dark.
And the video will get grainy and it won't be easy to watch. So what we recommend doing is looking at the low light performance, which we test at camcorderinfo.com using scientific standardized testing methods.
So on camcorderinfo.com, is there somewhere you can go and see the difference?
Right. If you go into any camcorder review, you can look at the low light performance section, and we rate the low light performance of every camcorder. Plus, you can rank all the camcorders by how we've rated their low light performance.
Cool. So, okay, let's take a look at what you have here. And I'm wondering, let's go in order, say, of price.
Right. Well, Amber, we have spent the past 6-9 months checking out, reviewing every camcorder that is in the market. And now we have some recommendations for you. So you can get a pretty good camcorder for under $300. I have one here. It's the JVC GRD 32, about $350 US, maybe $300 Canadian.
That's not bad.
It's real inexpensive. And what JVC did on this camcorder is they put some kind of low light 3D noise reduction chip in so that when you're indoors shooting your family, the video is still going to look pretty good. It has, I believe, a 10x optical zoom. It doesn't, but it doesn't have those still performance features. You know, get this camcorder and get a separate still camera.
Okay, so that's good for someone who doesn't want to spend maybe a lot of money on a camcorder.
If you're on a budget. It's actually this one right here. Jumping over to this one. This one's by Panasonic. It's the PVGS120. Now, Panasonic did something very special this year. You know, I mentioned those CCDs? Well, what they did is they took the technology that's in the high-end professional camcorders, the ones that are shooting us right now, and they put it in a consumer model. And they were able this year to bring the price of that technology down to about $500 or $600 Canadian dollars. It's really amazing.
That's cool.
This is technology that you couldn't get for, I don't know, $2,000 last year, and they managed to manufacture and build it down into this low price, and the result is amazing video quality.
So this would be good for someone who wants to spend a little bit more money.
It's a step up. It costs a little bit more, but this camcorder also gives you great manual control. That's something that we talk about, is that if you have experience with, you know, SLR cameras, if you have photography experience, some of the consumer camcorders only allow you to point and shoot. They don't really let you go in there, adjust those, you know, the shutter speed, the aperture, all those things that make your video great.
What's aperture again?
Aperture is the size of the opening of the lens, so it's like it like a dial. It gets bigger and smaller. Shutter speed is, you know, how fast the shutter is open when it takes a picture. This camcorder lets you adjust all those things, whereas some of the other camcorders, particularly the Sony ones, don't give you that level of manual control.
Okay, so how, and also I think you mentioned before that you would want to go in and actually test out some of these cameras and actually hold on to them to see how easy they are to handle.
You know, one of the problems is that video is so shaky. I mean, have you ever, you ever go watch a family video and it's like, you know,
it's shaking
like an
all over the
earthquake.
place. I know.
You think you're in California or something with a horrible earthquake. But what you need to do is you need to really be able to hold that camcorder stably. They have image stabilization. It's not that good. What you need to do do is, try the
actually,
camcorder
like,
in your
pick it
hand.
up.
Yeah, turn it on and see, can I hold this stably? Would I be comfortable shooting for 2 or 3 hours with this camcorder?
Exactly. So just see if it fits in your hand, and it kind of molds to your hand a little bit. And if you feel comfortable using it, is a big part of it.
If you're buying online, before you buy online, go into the camera store and play with the camera. See if you like the way it feels. This one, for example, is maybe a little big for my hand.
Yeah.
It's not as easy for me to grip.
This one seems great, actually.
Right,
it's very comfortable.
Exactly. It's small. It's a good form factor. A different form factor, this one is what we call a horizontal camcorder. So you hold this one much different. I don't personally like shooting this one, but that might be the style that you like.
So what are some of the features on this third camera?
Well, this is the Sony DCR PC350. It's going to go for $1,000 to $1,100 Canadian.
That's expensive.
It's expensive, but it's amazing quality. They put those CCDs, it's really big on this one.
Okay.
So both in normal light and in low light, this one performs very well. And something that Sony did, I don't know if we can show it here because I don't think this one has a battery in it.
Yeah, you can turn it on.
But
let's see.
I don't know if this will turn. Oh no, I think the battery's dead. But it has a touch screen.
Okay.
So if you want easy, simple stuff, you don't want to have to navigate through all those menus. The touch screen allows you to. They have a great feature where you can click on an area of the screen and it will adjust the focus or the exposure to that area.
So that might be good for someone who can afford it and also isn't so used to using a camera and wants to actually be able to manually just touch some of the different features.
And Sony has this in their lower end models, the Sony DCR HC20, the HC30, the HC40, that you can do that ease of use, but they don't give you the same level of manual control as the Panasonic PVGS 120 does.
How do you remember all these names?
I spend months and months.
No
they're not very creative,
I know, they're really not very creative.
You think they could come up with cool
I know,
Canon has
Canon's a little
cool
bit
names,
better,
right,
I actually remember some of the Canon names.
But, these guys, they're not very good at naming stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. So basically someone can go to your website and check it out and find out, all the features of the cameras and then go into a store and try them out.
Definitely. Come to camcorderinfo.com, read our reviews, check out price comparisons, and we'll help you decide what camcorder is best for you.
Thank you so much. So Robin started camcorderinfo.com back in 1997. Our show notes about this topic are also available at callforhelptv.com. But first, it's time to test your tech knowledge with our question of the day. What does SMS stand for? Simple Mail System, Speedy Metro Shuttle, Short Message Service, or Save My Social Life? That might be mine. We'll talk about the answer later on the show. We'll be back in about 2 short minutes.
Rock and roll, Cleveland! What? Oh, rock and roll, Toronto! Let's go to the phones. Amber, you got another caller for me here?
Yeah, we do. We have Alan from Cookshire, Quebec on the line.
Cookshire! Hello, Alan. How are you?
Hello, Leo. Hello, Amber.
Hi there.
And say hello to Andy, too. You better.
Yeah, hello, Andy.
He's going to feel left out.
Hello, Alan. How you guys doing?
We're doing really great. Thanks for calling. What can I do for you?
I've been having issues with an XP home machine.
Okay.
And some Windows 2000 Pro machines.
Okay.
Getting them to network properly.
Oh,
they're networking, but it's old, it's slow.
Well, hey, you're way ahead of the game because you got them talking to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, half the calls we get are going, I can't get it working. So at least they're talking. So you say slow. How slow?
I'd say from 30 to 40 seconds after you click on computers next to me or view my work group computers.
Right.
And you see a computer, either one of the three, you click on one, and it's at least 30 to 40 seconds before it refreshes and shows the shared folders.
How does it work if you go directly to the IP address? Do you know how to do that?
Not really.
Because you're using the browser, and the browser is, I think, inherently kind of slow. When you double-click My Network Places and you click View Workgroup Computers, and then it goes out and it has to check, it takes a long time. There we go.
Yeah, you're running through 2 or 3 operations to get to the folder you want.
If you know the IP address of the computer you're going to go to, actually, Andy showed me this trick. You can enter it into the run command, right, Andy?
That's it.
So I'm clicking Start, and I'm clicking Run, And in here, I'm just going to enter the IP address, but you have to start it with //.
Backslash.
Backward //.
Two backward slashes.
Okay.
And then the IP address. What's your IP address, Andy? Are you sharing right now? 192.168.1.10.
I'm on wireless right now.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. But you would enter in the address like this. This is saying don't browse the network, don't look around, go to that computer.
Okay.
Now, I would try this as a diagnostic, Alan. If it pops up, well, then you know what the slowpoke is. The slowpoke is this browser.
Okay.
If you're
I've noticed that I check the alerts in the Windows log.
Yeah.
And it seems that it always has a timeout getting the static or getting the IP address from the DCHP server on the router.
That's exactly what's happening. So all of this negotiation that's going on is what's slow. If you can enter in the IP address, and it's funny, once you enter it once, now of course it's in the drop down, so you don't have to do it all the time. It's just going to show up there, and it's a lot faster. Just by start run and entering that thing. Now there is, and I was looking on a website, and there are some potential weird bugs in XP. For instance, one of the things that happens, Windows scans, this is bizarre, the remote computers for scheduled tasks, and that can add another 30 seconds. Again, this is that scanning process.
Oh, that could be what's doing it.
It could be doing it too. It takes forever. So I put in the show notes a registry hack. You're actually modifying. I can show you. It's a fairly complicated key, so I think it's probably better to get it out of the show notes than to try to remember it or write it down.
Yeah, great. That's easy. That's what I like.
Yeah, it just cut and paste, right?
Yeah.
But it's where almost everything that happens in the registry editor. The registry, for those who don't know, is a binary file, actually a set of files in Microsoft Windows that keep track of a lot of settings. And almost always when you're working on Windows, you go to HKey local machine. That's this current machine. You go down to software and you scroll all the way down to Microsoft, and then you go down all the way down to Windows, which is right, of course, at the very bottom. And then almost always are working in current version. I don't know what that means or why there would be other versions. In this case, we're going to go to Explorer, because this is an Explorer issue. And within Explorer, you'll see an entry for remote computer, okay? And then namespace. So there's the full key there. And then now you get to some obscure stuff which are just weird numbers. There's going to be one number that begins as this one does right here. I know you can't see the TV, but it's D6277990, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. According to this site, and it's named, by the way, Scheduled Tasks. According to this site, if you delete that on all the computers you're trying to browse to, it will speed up the network connections.
Cool.
Now, you can also disable DFS, which is a distributed file system, and that's, I think, what's doing this. Similarly, in the registry editor, but it's a whole nother key, and I don't want to bombard you with keys here. But it's also HKey local machine now. We're going to go into the local machine, and it's in the system, and it's in the current control set, which is kind of an odd place. And actually, I have 3 of them. I'm going to go into the first one. And then services, and under the services, there's a MUP. I don't know what a MUP is. It's not a Muppet. It's a MUP. And inside the MUP, you're going to see a entry. Let's see. I'm looking now. Actually, what you do is you create an entry called Disable DFS. It's a D-word value. And you set it to 1, and that disables the DFS. Now, this is voodoo, I'm telling you here, because I'll be honest, I don't really know what we're doing.
Yeah, okay.
I got this from a reliable source, a good networking site I know of.
Yeah, well, I've been playing with just trying different protocols, and
it's Windows
to make it work.
Windows networking is funky. It's a funky thing. Now, that's good if you're James Brown. It's bad if you're a network. So, but I would suggest before you do any of that, try going directly to the IP address. I bet you it's just the browser that's slow.
Okay, yeah.
Is it okay once you get in?
Pardon?
Is it pretty much okay once you get in there?
Yeah, once you're in, I've had a few problems sometimes. If I've got a shared folder, and within that I've got, let's say, 10 other folders.
Yeah. then it's slow again.
You know, with little programs that I've downloaded and
because it has to look at it has to find every file and look it all up.
Yeah, well, when I go to sometimes when I'm on one of the other computers looking at the XP machine, it won't let me access a file within a folder within a shared folder.
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure what that would be.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
But
that
I can go to the XP machine then and just copy and paste it onto the other one.
You can do it the other direction.
There's no problem.
Yeah, that's what I do too. If it doesn't work, I don't mess with it. I just go, I'll go to the other machine and copy it that way.
Well, I'm wondering, my only login on the XP machine is as the administrator.
Yeah.
Would that have something to do with it?
Shouldn't.
Shouldn't. All right.
Shouldn't.
As
long as when you're logging into that machine, you're using that.
I've never made any other accounts.
No, as long as you're logging in with that account, you should have the same privileges as that account, and that's what you want. You want good privileges. If you had lower privileges, it might be an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would first try this / IP address.
Sure.
See if that works. I think that'll speed things up.
All right.
All right, Alan?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I will put all those registry keys in the show notes.
Great.
And I'll send you to the site that I found it. It's ithowto.com, where there's a lot of great stuff on networking. Very useful. Coming up, bigger, faster, super duper, great big gorilla-sized Wi-Fi. Yeah, baby. When we come back, you stay right here. Everywhere you go these days, you hear the term Wi-Fi. It's like hi-fi was big in the 50s. Wi-Fi is big in the year 2000, and that's because its wireless networking came out actually late in the last century, late 90s. And there have been 3 versions. Started with, actually more than 3. They started with 802.11, then 802.11b, and then 802.11a. They went backwards. We don't know why. Then 802.11g, but there's a new one coming. Actually, there's several new ones. There's N and Z. They're better, faster, stronger, more secure. I is coming us as well. But probably the one that's going to hit the streets soonest is 802.11n, and we expect it sometime next year. Andy's here to explain a little bit more about it. Super Wi-Fi. Now, this isn't WiMAX.
No.
This isn't Z. This isn't I. This is N.
Yeah, N for new.
It's confusing.
N for
confusing.
Really, I don't know. I love it. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well, okay, so what's so good about it?
Well, the uber feature you want out of Wi-Fi that everybody's talking about is let's transmit video through the house, multiple streams, high-def TV.
Right.
Right?
Well, so you could do that with G and A.
You could do, but you know what? If the kids are upstairs and mom and dad are downstairs, and you have lots of screens all handling video.
So you're saying more speed?
Give me a bigger pipe.
Yeah.
Let's push a lot more data through the airwaves.
Well, how much more?
Well, the spec isn't finalized yet. But the discussion is when they finally do get it rolling, it's going to be 100 megabits per second.
That's almost twice G.
Or better.
That's almost
it's
twice
actually
G.
4 times because you're getting 24 megabits per second.
No, but G is 54.
Okay.
So
yeah, you could argue that. But
isn't that true?
The basic spec's 24.
Oh, I didn't know that for G.
Yeah. So A is 54.
A is 54.
That's right.
G is 24.
Yes.
And B was 11.
It was 11, right.
Oh, I thought that G and A were equally fast.
No.
Oh, okay. So it's twice as fast as A and 4 times faster than G.
There you go. Exactly. And the way so nobody's come out with a device yet that is spec'd at 802.11n because they don't know what the rules are yet.
It hasn't been finalized.
Everybody's been discussing it back and forth.
So that happens with all of these things. You have an international engineering task force, and they take a look at it. Eventually, they come up with, a spec that everybody then has to adhere to, so everything works together.
Right.
So that's the risk of buying something that is not yet, that comes out before the spec is finalized.
That's right. And so Belkin, who's one of the big Wi-Fi router companies, they actually came out with something called Pre-N.
Yeah.
Which
I remember this happened with G and A too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they kind of cloned the behavior of N because, of course, we don't know what N looks like, but it's 100 megabits per second or better. And they achieve that by they take the signal and they jam 2 24 megabit per second signals down one channel. And they do that twice.
So that's where you get the 4 times faster.
So you get 108 megabits per second. So this is the unit that they're...
So clarify this for me. Is this something like the N spec, or is it just N speed?
It uses something called MIMO, multiple input, multiple output.
Okay. So it's not really N.
No. Well, because we don't know what N is.
We don't know what N is.
Right. So
the other thing people want is increased distance.
Yes.
Because Wi-Fi is maybe 50 meters. I mean, we would really like to see it be 100, 200 meters more.
Right. So typically you get 300 feet of range.
Oh, I don't never get it. They say.
That's what it's supposed to up to.
Yeah.
But on the outer edges, and in fact beyond halfway, it kind of gets crappy.
Yeah.
So what they claim is that you get 800% better range. Yes.
They're saying 2.5 kilometers. 2.5. 20. What
no,
are
no,
they?
no, not of the maximum. They fudge us. Marketing fudging.
Marketing again.
So.
But considerable improvement.
Considerable improvement, and then and then better throughput too. So what I want to try, I'm going to show you quickly what we're getting right now. This is right next door.
It is working
to the antenna that is on that laptop over there.
Well, you should get 5 bars. It should be great.
So So if we actually go down,
97%.
97%, right? So hey, Mikey.
Where's Mikey?
What?
He's in the Mikey chair.
So let's disconnect this. We're going to send Mikey upstairs.
What? We're going to send him upstairs?
Yeah, we're going to send him upstairs.
Mikey, we have a mission for you.
Here.
Wake up. I'll get you a cup of coffee in a little bit. Here, backpack. Okay, unplug the router here.
Yes.
All right, we're going to give you this. Mikey, plug that router in upstairs. You know what to do.
What?
Use the same port we used yesterday.
What?
Go! I have a bad feeling about this. So he's going to take this. Yes. Remember, again, we were getting 97% right in the room.
Right, and in fact, if you look at the screen right now, he's going to put it right next to the device that shows Doom 3, which is at 44%.
That's upstairs?
That's upstairs.
Well, that's pretty good. So it's going through the floor. I mean, it's right. It's nearby, but there's a metal floor and everything. So we're getting about 44%, which would be, maybe 2.5 bars, 2.5 bars.
That's right.
So he's going to put it in up there in a minute or two. It takes him a while to run up there, especially in his groggy stupor. When he's finished, we should pop up.
It should pop up, exactly.
All right, we don't see it yet.
It's going to take a couple of seconds.
So, all right, so it's not N, but it's N-like speeds. And they say, do they claim the same distance as N?
Well, they say better than G.
Better than G.
800% better than G and 600%.
That's a lot.
So, I mean, they're making noises like, it's going to be as good as what N is supposed to be.
So we're testing it.
There's a lot of controversy around this, though, because the Wi-Fi Alliance, the people that certify Wi-Fi equipment, when they saw that Belkin came out with this, they said, I don't know about that. Because it's not authentic. Right. And they're afraid, too, that it's going to interfere with other signals.
So something to be aware of when you do this is you're buying this, but it may only work with other Belkin. In fact, right now, it will only work with Belkin.
It's very proprietary. Yeah.
And it may never work with an N router. And it may never be upgradable. So you're taking a chance. How much is it?
It's $150 US.
So it's not hugely expensive.
No. But you have to buy a card, another $100 right there.
It won't work with your old card. No. Now, is N going to be downward compatible? Will I be able to use my G, A, and B?
And this is actually right now. So you can connect a G device, a G laptop, to the Belkin N.
Will it slow down the network?
No.
Now what happens with G is you connect to B, it slows it down to B speed.
Yeah. No, in the tests that we've done this week, absolutely not.
So you're getting what kind of throughput?
You get when you get G.
Yeah, with this.
With this, you're getting somewhere in the region. I think what was the spec? 40 at 160 feet.
But what were you getting?
Oh, what was I getting?
Yeah,
I was getting over 11 megabits per second at a range of about 100 feet.
Now, and we should emphasize that all of these are upward. When they quote you 11 megabits for B or 28 megabits for G, that's the top of the range. It's never that fast. Usually about half that.
That's right.
So 11's pretty good. It's still not 54 or 108 or anything like that.
Exactly.
What's Mikey?
We're scanning here. Here we go. There's Belkin. So there, he's now plugged it in. So now we're getting 77%.
So it is. It's 50% better than the. Mikey, you can get back in the chair.
Good job.
Just shake your hand. Well done. Are you out of breath? Yeah. He's sweaty. Oh my God.
So there you go. So side by side, Doom 44%.
Well, that's good.
And in fact, it jumps up and down.
Well,
so
it's 80%.
80%, 94%.
Well, that at least validates the one claim that it is better. It propagates.
It's worth getting if you're into that proprietary. You really want high-speed video right now for your laptop, for example.
But maybe better to wait till N comes out if you can.
Absolutely wait.
Because then you'll get, and that's not very far off.
It's a fun toy.
That's pretty cool. And I like the 3 antennas.
Yeah.
So 2 are sending and 1's receiving? Is that how?
They're all sending and receiving.
Oh, they're all doing both. I don't know. It's very confusing. Mikey's comatose now. For more on the Belkin pre-N router, check out our show notes, callforhelptv.com. Andy's written up a whole thing. We'll get all his test results in there, too. Now, we're going to have more phone calls for you right after this short break. Stay with us. Mike, can I get you a soda, lemonade, anything, cup of coffee? It's all right. You go back to sleep. Welcome back to Call for Help. Let's take our third caller. Caller number 3, how do you be? You got something for me?
We have
Amber
Brian.
McKee?
Yeah, we
Yeah?
have Brian from Brampton, Ontario on the line.
Hey, wait a minute. Before we say hi to Brian, I didn't even notice. You're sparkly today.
Yes, it's very
That
sparkly.
is very pretty.
That's
I
because
like
I'm
that.
doing my record segment later, so it's kind of rockish.
I didn't see it before, but now
Yeah.
I'm at a distance. I can see the refulgence. Hello, Brian. How are you?
Pretty good yourself.
Well, very well. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
What can I do for you?
A while back, you were talking about running Unix commands under Windows XP.
Yes.
And you said you can type ls instead of dir to get a directory listing, right?
Yeah.
Now, I quickly ran up to my computer. I was like, oh, that's great. And I typed it in and not recognized.
Oh,
It doesn't
I
work
lied.
for me.
I
was
lied.
wondering, does Cygwin add that functionality? Or
Yeah, there's actually a very easy way to do it, but and I must have done that. Let me just make this really big here, so we can see what I'm doing. I'm opening the DOS command here. So dir is how you normally in DOS get a directory listing. But those of us who use Linux or any other Unix clone, Mac OS X, are used to typing ls to get a directory listing, and you do that. Now, for some reason on that show, I typed ls and it worked. I think it was because I had Cygwin installed. So that's one way to do it. You remember I was talking about Cygwin in that show?
Yeah, I actually had it installed at one point, but I took it out.
Yeah, well, that gives you access to a whole host of Unix commands, and it's free, cygwin.com. In fact, once you've installed Cygwin, you can, in fact, then install other Linux commands. But if all you want is ls, why install Cygwin, right?
Yeah.
So I'll show you a way. In Unix, there's an alias command. You say alias. When I type this, what I really mean is this.
Okay.
Believe it or not, DOS has an alias command. It's called DOSKey. You remember DOSKey?
Yeah.
DOSKEY. And I'm going to say ls equals dir. So when I type that, now I've put a command in there. Now when I type ls, it gives me a listing. So I've aliased ls. So see, I do that because my fingers have forgot about dir and they remember ls. It's been a long time since I typed dir, but I type ls a lot.
Yeah, I mistype them all the time, too.
Yeah. So any command that you do all the time, you can use DOSKey to substitute. Now, how do we get to remember it? Well, there's no autoexec.bat anymore. There are ways to get this to remember it, but I don't remember them. But there is a way, and I've forgotten now how to get the command shell to always start up. It should be, you would think it would be in properties. You could say automatically run something. I'm gonna have to look into it. But anyway, that's how you do it. Is you just use DOSKey, and you could use DOSKey to alias a whole bunch of Unix commands if you wanted. Now here's the question: if I dir has some command lines, I don't remember what they are.
It's like /p for
/p. So let's see, and I don't know this. In theory, yeah, /p would pause after every screen full of information. So I do dir/p. Well, that's not a long enough listing. Let's dir c Windows. That's another thing. I want to alias / to slash because that drives me crazy. dir c. I don't think you can. Oh, darn.
dashes.
Yeah, I think slashes. You're stuck with the backslashes. Windows dash or /p. That's going to pause as it's okay. Now let's see if that works. Let's see now with my aliased ls. Just out of curiosity, I don't know what the answer is. C:\Windows, and then I'm going to add the /p. Will it still pause? No, in fact, it's ignoring all of the parameters, so it's not that useful. It's only really useful if you're going to do a simple dir.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. That's a little trick, but Cygwin is another way to do this, and I think Cygwin is actually a great. There are also some smaller Unix utilities, as I showed on that day, that you can install that'll give you some of the other commands. That might even be the best way to do it, is that tiny Unix kit that I had for you. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Coming up, dirt cheap gift ideas when you're out of time and money. All righty. It sounds like my story. Amber's going to show us how to do that. This might have something to do with that album art and her glittery shirt. We'll see. But one more chance right now to take your daily dose of tech knowledge. You ready for our quiz? What does SMS stand for? I think Amber might have known this when she did it last time. Simple mail system, because she uses it a lot. Speedy metro shuttle, short message service, or save my social life. See, now I've completely thrown them. Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you what SMS stands for. That's that stuff that all the kids are doing these days. When you see them going on their cell phone, they're not talking, they're just typing. They're doing short message service, SMS. And it's huge all over the world, but it's really spreading here now to North America, finally. It took us a long time because we have so many different cell systems and you couldn't talk from one to the other. But now that you can, it's just, I mean, everybody. If you're under I'd say if you're under 18, you probably use an SMS. You use SMS?
Yeah, I do
Amber?
all the time, yeah.
You use it to text people? I know Monica would always...
text people all the time. I mean... Yeah, don't do it when you're driving, though. That's very dangerous.
Well, I don't understand how you do it at all. It's a number pad. So for S, you press QRS.
Yeah. And then you stop for a second, and then you do the next letter. You get really fast at it. At first, I wasn't so fast, but now I'm actually pretty fast.
Andy, do you use it?
Yeah. Amber SMS'd me this morning on our commute into the studio.
I'm not supposed to be doing it when I'm driving.
What's she SMS?
She said, I burned her an 80s CD. And she was a great 80s CD. I'm like grooving or whatever.
She's never SMS
while I was driving.
Okay, well, whatever. Over the holidays, our bank accounts take a beating, my friends, but we still have to keep giving gifts in 2005.
Exactly.
So if you have spent all your money on gadgets and your sister's birthday's around the corner, why not make her a lovely candy dish? Amber's here with a site that you'll see why we're laughing in a second. That has unique crafts and do-it-yourself instructions anyone can follow.
Yeah, this is really quick. I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of money at Christmas, and then afterwards I'm feeling it in the bank account, and there's still people's birthdays that happen, so I have to whip something together really quickly. And so this is a great site to come to if you want to do something very, very unique and very quick.
And cheap.
And cheap as well. A lot of these ideas are actually under $10, so you can get everything you need. So the site is called thriftdeluxe.com. I know, appropriate. And we'll just look at a couple of the crafts before we show you the craft that actually I put together. The first one is punky earrings.
Punky earrings.
Yeah, exactly.
See, my kid would love this. My daughter would love this.
It's fun for teenagers,
She likes
too.
making stuff.
Yeah, it's great. So you basically can take your guitar picks. You see they have two of them here, and then put a little round hoop through them to be earrings.
She can steal her brother's guitar picks.
Exactly. And then you can do the same thing with safety pins.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't like the safety pins as much, but the guitar picks are pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so it's a fun gift if you have a young teenager to buy for. Also, if you check out some other things, we have the grater lamp. This
an old
is actually
cheese
quite
grater.
funny. Yeah, take an old cheese grater.
You know, you can lampify almost anything,
I know. They have pots here, plant pots that you can do. You turn them into a lamp.
Well, this is cool. So it's inside the grater.
It's funky, actually. At first, I was kind of skeptical, but it's kind of neat.
It's very IKEA.
It is very IKEA.
I think we should make one for Andy. He's moved to a new apartment. He only has like a few sticks of furniture. Was that a secret?
I'm going to make up one.
Andy, you don't
He would have thought it was a designer lamp.
lamp.
I know.
I would have thought it was called the Greator.
Exactly. So that's kind of cool.
But the light with that cast would be very good.
It is really neat. Yeah, it's really cool. So
Chicks would dig it, Andy.
They would. And also, you see the key along the right-hand side. You have the cost, the time, and the difficulty. So you know everything is really easy. Now, this is the best thing ever. This is called the record bowl. And I just want to say, lots of people have old LPs stacked away in milk crates in their basements or in their attics, and
some of my records still look like that.
Yeah,
from being in the basement for too long.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what you can do, Andy did a segment before on actually converting them and taking them from an LP to an MP3.
So that's the first thing to do.
The first thing
Save
to do.
Them.
Yeah, don't destroy them. This isn't about destroying records.
Right.
And then after you do that, if you want some cool bowls and some neat gifts, you can actually create a record bowl.
You took your old Princess Bride album, which was your favorite album as a child.
Yes.
But you've decided, for the sake of the show, to sacrifice it.
I did, yes.
And you called your mom and you said, Mom, now what did she do to do this?
Actually, what she did was she took this colander, and what she did, she put the record on top of it. And
because it's flat.
Exactly. Put the oven at 100 degrees.
100.
And then for 30 seconds, let the record sit on there. Yeah. And then take it out and push the record down. And then if you like the shape, you can take it out and harden it. But if you don't, push it down a little bit more if you want a deeper bowl.
Okay.
And then take it out of the oven. Be very careful.
Because it's soft. The vinyl's soft.
Exactly. Use oven mitts for sure.
But look at this. Okay, you ready?
Take it out. Let it harden.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the coolest thing ever.
The Princess Bride candy dish.
Or popcorn dish.
Or popcorn dish.
Exactly.
Except it's got a hole in the bottom. So the salt would all come out.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Look
you
at
can put it on a plate, but it's really cool. So you can take your favorite records, and if you're having some kind of fun
that
party.
Is so cool.
I know, it's really fun. So you can make a set of them for someone I know, it's really fun. And if you can find different colored records, it's really cool to do as well.
Oh, yeah, red record.
Yeah.
Blue,
I think a set set would be nice, maybe 3 or 4 or something like that, and give them as a gift. Billy Idol. We could take Andy's old Billy Idol record.
You really should have saved this segment till after you gave Andy all these lovely things.
I know. He's going to get a set of these too.
So what did Mom say? Now, she's, by the way, Mom's visiting from Prince Edward Island.
Yes, she is.
Amber does not live at home.
No.
But what did Mom say? I mean, was this easy to do?
Well, I said, Mom, I need you to bake banana bread for the crew and also actually bake this record for me. So she thought that was a little bit odd, but she had fun doing it, and she was amazed at how well it turned out. It's kind of fun.
So she did this herself?
Yeah, she did. You know, it takes 5 minutes.
I think this is really, really cute.
Yeah,
and
it's really cute.
It's light. It's hard to describe. It doesn't feel like a record.
Yeah, it's really light. Just don't put it in the dishwasher.
Oh, would flatten out again.
Yeah, that's one thing to make sure.
Back.
But you could do it. I'm going to actually make some for my cousin who's 21 and loves music, and just make her a set of them. Yeah.
What's the site again?
It's thriftdeluxe.com, and there's lots of other great ideas.
Thriftdeluxe.com.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Amber. That is very cool. All right, we're going to wrap it up right now. 2 more final cents to share with you after the break. You stay right here. Call for Help continues right after these messages. That is so cool. I love that.
It's surprising how well it turned out.
Look at that. I think that's really nice. I just love this. I think this is so cool. I mean, there's so many things you could do. It would be a good candy dish.
Yep.
This is the record that Amber's mom melted. And of course, there's a lot of people out there who are just going, "Oh my gosh, this is." But the Princess Bride album wasn't exactly.
Well, exactly. And a lot of the records that you don't use anymore, you don't want anymore. At least gives them some purpose.
You could use it as a candy dish.
A candy dish. You could put.
It could be a hat.
Yeah, I could use it as a winter toque.
A toque. What, Mikey? What?
What's a record?
Oh, get out of here! Get out, boo!
Boo.
You know, though, that's true. My kids would look at that and say, I don't know what they're talking. What is that big thing?
Yeah, I know.
So they don't CDs. And you can't do this with CDs unless you were a really tiny candy dish.
Well, exactly.
You could use it as half a bikini.
Okay. That's why we don't have Andy doing craft segments.
Anybody just tune in, they're saying, well, it's so nice they hired the handicapped here at Call for Help.
Hello, Mom.
Who is this guy? He's wearing a colander that says you could use it for a bikini.
I know.
Who is this guy?
Do you like my hat?
Well, Joe, shut up. I'm so glad you joined us, and I'm glad Andy was here.
Yes.
And Amber, of course, we're always thrilled, but mostly we're glad you were here, because without you, we'd be sitting here talking to ourselves. And, well, we practically are anyway, but at least we know you're watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be part of the show, we'd love to have your calls. We appreciate them. All you have to do is go to the website, callforhelptv.com. Click on the left there. There's a little link right on the left. You just click that and fill out the form. The form's useful because it tells us about when we can reach you and what operating system helps us answer your questions. So please do it that way. But we do love your email, and I want pictures.
Yes.
I want pictures. We'll put them on our board back here. We've got people up here. Callforhelptv.com. It's Leo at callforhelptv.
Amber at callforhelptv.com.
And Andy at
Oh, shut up. Please send him a note and tell him how offended you are by his attitude and his polo shirt. We're so glad you were here. Have a great day. Remember, if you've got a problem with your personal confuser or any of your personal technology, don't whine, don't moan, don't yell. Just put it in the oven at 100 degrees and push it down, and it'll make a lovely planter. Have a good day.
Oh, Andy.
That's an Andy.
Yeah.